Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So the lovely people at Arrtx actually sent me another box of acrylic brush tip markers. Now I have used, I believe, 2 other sets that they have sent me before and we made illustrations out of them, but I have not used this particular set. I did not even know that they even had a 90 version set. So if you're looking for a humongous set of acrylic markers or maybe you want to like add to your current set, this might be a good option. So probably for reference, I will put photos of the color selections from this 90 set, and I believe there are other 260 sets, so that you can kind of check out what colors are available and kind of just compare. There is a little bit of overlap between the colors, but there is plenty of other colors that are not even available in the previous sets. So let's go ahead and open this one up. Oof. So kind of similar to their other ones, they give you 2 sets of labels. One can go on the end caps right here, and then the other ones can be placed on the markers like on the side, or you can use them for swatches, whatever you want. I like to put these on the side of the markers, while these ones I like to put just on the butts, kind of the ones so that you can kind of see them facing upwards. And this is kind of our color selection. So let's take a closer look at the markers actually. So this is the brush tip similar to their other 260 sets. So it is just a single side, and you can kind of see it's saturated at one end with a brush tip. And it does have acrylic paint, which is nice and bright and quite opaque on certain surfaces. But for the swatches, I am going to do these kind of like probably in time lapse. If not, I'll do this off screen to kind of save you guys a little bit of time. But this is a whole bunch of colors. I see a lot of like kind of like teal-ish kind of green colors, which I really like. We have some that are more towards like skin tone, and then lots of yellows for sure, some pinks and red. But I do have a character in mind, seeing some of these kind of like teal turquoise colors that we could do a matching illustration from a previous session that I did. So let's go ahead and do swatches first and I will come back. Actually forgot, so before I can do swatches, let's go ahead and put these stickers on. I apologize that if anyone's like watching me put these labels on, and some of them are not like in the center and they're like super off, that irks some people, sorry. What are the chances that the markers are not in the right order? Yo-ho. Hey. Labels, all done. Next up, these ones. Basically 20 minutes to label all the markers appropriately. Hopefully you can kind of see. So I have the little side markers, or like the side stickers right here, so you can kind of see them when they're lying down. And then we have all the stickers on kind of like the butts of the markers, so when they're right side up, you can kind of see your entire selection. So this is kind of like the sketchbook that I use to keep majority of my swatches in here, just because it's easier for myself to refer to one thing for the majority of my swatches, and sometimes I use it as kind of like a scratch pad. So some previous acrylic markers. So to kind of keep it consistent, I will be just doing the swatches on this side. So this is the 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 going across is a little tight. Okay. So I don't know how well you guys are going to be able to see the swatches. I have somehow screwed this up. 64, C64, 65A, 65, 66A. Ooh, that sucks. No. That's fun. I'm not the type of person who makes like aesthetic color swatches anyway. So they do dry matte. Any sheen or shine is either because it's kind of metallic-y or it's still wet. But for the most part, very vibrant colors. Pretty big color selection for each, I guess, like color family. So that's really great. I'm very compelled to use the greens. I think the character that I want to use will use like greens and kind of like tealish colors. I know white on white, you can't really see it that well. But I still have these, I guess, what is this called? Linen painting panel. This is a Paul Rubens one, and I thought it'd be fun to use a similar size to the one that I did for Mualani. So if you want to check out the process for this, I will link the video in the description or in the card above. But I thought it'd be cute to make one of maybe Kinich, and maybe eventually in the future I'll also make one of Kachina, because I think it'd be cute to have it almost like a triptych with all of them together. To kind of like keep on the theme or like the aesthetic of it, I probably won't do like a background so that I can keep all the paintings still similar with kind of like the white of the background and stuff. I'll try to draw him maybe of a similar size. So let's go ahead, sketch him out, probably with the Palette Color Eno or like one of my colored leads, so that we can kind of erase as we go and it won't be as like jarring on the canvas. And it mixes well if it mixes with the paint instead of like rubbing in the graphite. So I guess I'll put them on here. Actually, I might switch pencils. Get a little lead breaking on that one. Hope I didn't draw it too big already. See if I can think about how I want to angle his arm. I don't know if I was like still in that weird drawing funk. I just feel happier sketching again. I just realized that Saturday's video is gonna be low-key out of context. I swapped the videos, so I think the time frame is a little wrong. Maybe I have to put a disclaimer. Is he a little bit too large? I guess he is a little bit. It's okay. His body would have to be raised. I'll see when I can find another opportunity to draw Kachina. I don't think I've really drawn her, just in general, other than like a very brief chibi version. But I think in contrast to Mualani, his dark hair is gonna be fun to kind of paint in, I think. I think compared to the Palette Color Eno, erases super easily. I feel like his hand's a little small. Okay, I think we're good for a sketch. Give you guys an overview and then we can start to block in probably the skin tone first is what I did for Mualani. And I don't think I really need to erase too much of the sketch initially. I think this is what our sketch is gonna look like. I wish I made him slightly smaller so that we could fit in more of like the little diamond square design thing that he has in his outfit. Good to have swatches. I think we will start with the base. I might use this for a highlight, so I might need... Quickly double check his eye color. So we got green, ooh, dark green, orange, yellow, and a lighter green. Oof. Okay, we'll tackle the eyes a little bit later. See how well I can block this in. He doesn't have that much exposed anyways. Because he has his headband that kind of covers up a good portion. So for these markers, I definitely recommend storing them the way that they came, aka with the tip down, so that you can kind of keep it as moist as possible. So there are some areas that do kind of like low-key save on some of the paint. If I can help it, I will try my best to either block in a little bit more mindfully and let things kind of sit next to each other. Just because sometimes if you cover one area, just like in one solid fill, but you're going to cover it with another color, I feel like it's a little bit of a waste doing like the under or like the first color you started with. So we did get a little bit more of like a thinner application here, which is totally okay. Let's go over it. Do your shadow colors. This might not even be dark enough. Excuse me. So I don't remember if I had the same problem with Mualani's. I think I did with shoes actually. The one that I gave to my friend is that because the paint is wet, it does catch a lot of glare. So I can't really see where I'm placing some of the colors because I think it's like completely white because of how shiny it is. Sometimes the lighter colors are like a smidge more, what is it called? Streakier? So it requires a little bit more of that layering. Okay, so, oh, can you guys even see the glare? It's a little shiny. So make sure I'm not missing any really of his skin tone before I kind of move these colors aside. I'm gonna have to find a good dark color to do the line art with, like I did for Mualani's. So we can place our shadow color. I'm so sorry I have to keep lifting the board. I don't have daytime lighting at the moment. Lighter green. I could go very vibrant or just a bit. So I might have centered his eye a little bit too much, so I might actually see if we can slowly shift it. Okay, so let's see how we can do this. This is how my brain works. So I'm gonna fill in just a flat yellow. We might shrink the eye a little bit or try my best to find a way to center this again. So I might fill in his eye line a little bit with this darker green color. Because once we add our super dark lines on top, we'll let some of this color peep through. His eyes are a little confusing. Okay. So I'll continue filling in our green almost. Wait, I'm really pulling out so many colors. I might well leave this here. But I might. I know. No, we'll keep it more like cell shading still. I was gonna mix with like a lighter teal turquoise color. Then I need to erase this a little. Let's see. Let's throw in his hair maybe. Maybe I'll fill it 75. And then black will be my last resort because at this point, but filling with black would be easier. We'll see. So Mualani's hair was a bit easier to manage. Because I'm gonna lose a lot of my lines here. Just so we don't lose everything. Paint's a little bit wet still. Hopefully this kind of makes sense, like how I'm blocking it. So I don't want to lose is this shape. Which technically, like if I'm doing it like this, I could just avoid certain areas and pretend there's lines, which I will kind of leave as the white or like the negative space. A little bit of a mess here. It's supposed to be like this. I promise. Actually, I won't promise, but usually by the time I'm able to put in line art, kind of fixes things. Part of this is more like green color, so let's just block this out. A little bit of black. We'll use some like lighter colors to help carve out like the actual shapes here. So that's kind of like a darker brownish color. Okay, we'll fill in more. It's a little streaky. Kind of blocking these in so I don't forget when I'm coloring in some of the other areas. Okay, I kind of changed my setup a little bit since it's like the night 2 of working on this, so I took a bit of a break. I think it's also due to the surface that I'm working on, because it's not like a super, like it's porous but not super porous, so some of the paint does like kind of sit on the top. So when I go back and forth, it kind of like slides around a little bit. I'm glad this marker is actually quite juicy, because we're filling in quite a bit of black areas so far. Oops, that was supposed to be yellow. This is his bandana. We'll cover that up later. Lighter colors and like the mid-tone colors definitely have a little bit more leeway on the surface. streakiness is just not as apparent. So the majority of this is just kind of us blocking in the shapes, and then we'll carve out highlights and shadows a little bit. The final touches would be, I guess, any effects or like little details we want to put at the end, plus the line work. I'm gonna need to find like a highlight color for some of the black areas so that we can outline some of the places that would have more of a need for a line art. You can see a second pass makes it really opaque and kind of flat, which is great. Kind of contributes more to that cell shady look. You also see how this will work. It's a little bit on the lighter side, but I don't have anything that's like remotely dark enough compared to the black. So you might have to add a bit more black to some of these areas, especially when we're doing maybe the line art or something like that. And then pull out some highlights. Because other than that, like this does read a little bit too light. Try not to like put my hand anywhere on the canvas too much, because I will accidentally just put my hand right into a good chunk of wet paint. I do see like a little bit of like an orange, and then I'll fill in a little bit more of like a skin tone or something. So let's feel like it's thinning out a little bit. I would like to try this maybe on like mixed media paper. I think I've used this on like a watercolor sketchbook and that worked really nice. I just know like thinner notebook paper, it definitely sucked out the paint out of the markers and kind of like made it really dry. Add a little bit here and there, even adding it to his gloves, I guess, because we can just make it seem like this is part of like the light source in a green color, so we can add it as almost a highlight for a lot of our areas here. Orange, similar to the one we used for his eyes. I think it goes orange, yellow, yeah. So I'll let that dry. I just always love how vibrant these colors can tend to get. This makes me feel quite happy, because I like when colors are like flat and bold or vibrant. It's just very appealing to look at least for myself. Even though I said I'll use the green as kind of like the highlight, we can kind of mix and match a little bit here. So I think the hand kind of makes sense. So I am a little bit timid using the markers, but we could add like more funky colors into here. Like I said, because some of the dark areas we can't really get like a good sense of where the line art will be technically. So we could accent some of them with like a lighter color. In this case, I'm using this turquoisey color a bit. What else? What am I missing? Diamonds. Diamond in his hair. Yeah, I think we're good to do some line art to hopefully tie everything together. So this is the Simptap markers, also from Arrtx. So these ones have more of like that pumping mechanism, and it does have more of like a brush tip like this. I do have a little bit of crusties. Okay, I think we're We're good to go. Oh, wait. JK. I forgot. Since everything is pretty much dry to the touch, I am gonna take my kneaded eraser, and you can kind of see like the red outlines. I am just gonna get rid of them. Persuaded by some of my lines, or get confused, I guess. It's probably the worst place to start, but I'm gonna start on like near his eye and face. Yeah, I think it's just inevitable, but my hands are gonna get super messy from this pen. Hopefully you guys aren't at too bad of an angle. Trying to be very light-handed right now. We'll get over the other eye in, and then I will take a very short break to make sure that these will dry properly. I always say this, that line art is like my least favorite, but it's also my favorite when it comes to like finishing a piece, because I really need it to tie it together to give it that extra like oomph. I don't really remember how prominent his lashes are. Parts of his hair. I botch it up. Even though, like I mentioned, acrylic paint, it's opaque. You can build up layers, cover up your mistakes if you need to, but to save on time, just be a little bit cleaner. Okay, I can see the glare right now. I don't know if you guys can. I can see where it's wet. I was gonna put my hand directly in it already. Okay. Trying to figure out where I didn't place my already painted areas. I think the last parts I will be doing is probably the hair. See how far I can take it. But also, because we're using black, look at my wobbly lines, I will be able to put in like some hair strands and stuff that are more wispy. Some more wispier areas. Where do we even start? Okay, I think are we good for line art? It goes a little bit too... Oh, wait. Okay, so other than this part, I think I will do a little bit of touch-ups. We'll switch back to the markers that I've been using earlier. Add back in our lighter color. So I don't really have to worry about losing too much detail, I guess. Where did I put stuff? I kind of like to highlight a little bit more here. Ooh. See, putting my hand directly into it, that's great. Putting a little bit more of a darker shadow here. So let me see if I can get Kinich and Mulan in the same frame. Did I show you how large this piece is? That's kind of what they look like. You can see that he turned out a lot larger, like face-wise, I guess. I still like Mulan's a lot. She just looks so adorable. Kinich didn't turn out too bad. I kind of wish I put Aha as well into the piece, but I did not really want to deal with pixel art with acrylic markers because I didn't really want to plan out like a whole grid for him. Also Arrtx markers, but this is the one we did today, and I actually really like how this one turned out. As I say that I want to kind of adjust this a little bit more, I want this to be a little bit darker. But hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video. I'll definitely do a close-up because I think you guys would be a little bit interested in seeing like the texture or like even just the application. There is some splotchiness for some of the colors, but like I said, it's probably due to my surface as well, because I've had good coverage on some other paper in the past, and it does kind of like, but once I show you guys the close-up, I will probably call it then. Hopefully you guys enjoyed watching me draw Kinich today with some acrylic paint markers. Thank you again to Arrtx for sending me these markers for me to test out, and I'll talk to you guys next time in the next video. Bye! Satellite, out all night, oh yeah. Don't let go, just let go.